Indian Evidence Act 1872. Section 1, short title, extent and commencement. This act is called the Indian Evidence Act 1872. It applies to the whole of India. It came into force on 1st September 1872. It applies to judicial proceedings, not to affidavits or arbitration unless stated. Section 2, repeal of enactments. Old laws relating to evidence before this act are repealed. Now, evidence matters are governed only by this act. Chapter 1, preliminary. Section 3, interpretation clause. Definitions. Important definitions. Court, all judges and magistrates except arbitrators. Fact, anything perceivable by senses or mental condition. Relevant fact, a fact connected to another fact. Evidence, oral evidence, statements of witnesses. Documentary evidence, documents, electronic records. Proof disproved not proved. Document, any matter expressed on any substance. This is the most important section of the Act. Section 4, may presume, shall presume, conclusive proof. May presume, court has discretion. Shall presume, court must presume unless disproved. Conclusive proof, cannot be disproved at all. Chapter 2, of the relevancy of facts. Section 5, evidence may be given of facts in issue and relevant facts. Evidence can be given only for facts in issue, relevant facts. Irrelevant facts are not allowed. Section 6, relevancy of facts forming part of same transaction, res gesti. Facts connected with the same transaction are relevant. Example, cry of victim immediately after attack. Section 7, facts which are the occasion, cause or effect. Facts explaining, cause of an event, effect of an event. Example, motive, weapon, injury. Section 8, motive, preparation and previous or subsequent conduct. Motive and preparation are relevant. Conduct of accused or victim before after incident is relevant. Section 9, facts necessary to explain or introduce facts in issue. Facts helping to identify persons or things. Fixed time place. Example, test identification parade. Section 10, things said or done by conspirators. Statements or acts of conspirators are relevant against all. Applies only during existence of conspiracy. Section 11, facts inconsistent with or supporting facts in issue. Facts that make a fact improbable. Support probability of a fact. Example, alibi. Section 12, facts showing state of mind or body. Facts showing intention, knowledge, health, etc. are relevant. Section 13, facts relating to right or custom. Transactions or instances proving existence of right, custom or usage. Section 14, facts showing state of mind. Facts showing intention, good faith, negligence, etc. Example, prior similar acts. Section 15, facts showing system or plan. Facts showing a pattern or system of acts. Example, repeated frauds using same method. Section 16, existence of course of business. Facts showing regular course of business are relevant. Admissions confessions. Section 17, admission defined. Admission statement suggesting inference as to a fact in issue. Made by parties or authorized persons. Section 18, admission by party to proceeding. Admissions by party, agent, person with interest are relevant. Section 19, admission by persons whose position must be proved. Statements of persons whose position or liability is in question. Section 20, admission by persons referred to by party. If a party refers another person for information, that person's statement becomes an admission. Quick exam summary. Sections 1, 4 preliminary definitions. Sections 5, 16 relevancy of facts. Section 17, 20 admissions. Indian Evidence Act 1872, Sections 21, 40. Admissions. Sections 21, 23. Section 21, proof of admissions. Admissions are relevant and can be proved against the person who makes them. An admission cannot be proved by the person who made it, except in special cases. Exception, when it explains relevant conduct or is otherwise relevant. Section 22, oral admissions as to contents of documents. Oral statements about document contents are not relevant. Exception, when the document itself cannot be produced. Section 23, admissions in civil cases. Admissions made during settlement negotiations are not admissible. Encourages parties to settle disputes freely. Confessions, sections 24, 30. Section 24, confession caused by inducement, threat or promise. A confession is irrelevant if obtained by threat, promise. Inducement by authority. Must be voluntary to be valid. Section 25, confession to police officer. Confession made to a police officer is not admissible. Section 26, confession while in police custody. Confession made in police custody is not admissible. Exception, if made in presence of a magistrate. Section 27, discovery of facts. That part of confession leading to discovery of a fact is admissible. Example, recovery of weapon based on accused's statement. Section 28, confession made after removal of threat. Confession is admissible if threat promise is removed before making it. Section 29, confession otherwise relevant. Confession is admissible even if made under secrecy, in response to deception, without warning. Section 30. Confession of co-accused. Confession of one accused can be considered against others only when joint trial is going on. It is weak evidence, needs corroboration. Statements by persons WHO cannot be called as witnesses. Sections 32-33. Section 31. Admissions not conclusive proof. Admissions are not conclusive, but may create estoppel. Section 32. Statements of relevant facts by persons who are dead or unavailable. Relevant when person is dead, cannot be found. Incapable of giving evidence. Includes dying declaration. Statements against interest. Statements about public rights, custom, relationship. Section 33. Evidence given in previous judicial proceeding. Evidence from earlier proceedings is relevant if same parties, same issues. Opportunity of cross-examination was given. Judgments of courts. Sections 34-38. Section 34. Entries in books of account. Entries in business records are relevant, but cannot alone prove liability. Section 35. Entries in public records. Entries made by public servants in official records are relevant. Section 36. Statements in maps and charts. Statements in maps, charts, plans made by authority are relevant. Section 37. Statements in acts or notifications. Statements in laws, proclamations, notifications are relevant facts. Section 38. Statements as to law. Statements explaining law in books or judgments are relevant. Relevancy of judgments. Sections 39-40. Section 39. Judgments as to matters of public nature. Judgments relating to public rights are relevant. Section 40. Previous judgments relevant to bar a second suit or trial. Previous judgment is relevant if it bars a fresh trial, applies res judicata or double jeopardy. Quick revision table. Section. Topic. 21-23. Admissions. 24-30. Confessions. 32-33. Statements of unavailable persons. 34-38. Records public documents. 39-40. Judgments. Indian Evidence Act 1872, Sections 41-60. Judgments of courts. Sections 41-44. Section 41. Judgments in rem. Final judgments of a competent court relating to marriage, divorce, insolvency, guardianship. Such judgments are conclusive proof, binding on everyone, not just parties. Example, divorce decree. Section 42. Judgments relating to matters of public nature. Judgments not covered by Section 41. Related to public rights. Relevant but not conclusive. Section 43. Other judgments. Judgments not falling under Sections 40-42 are irrelevant. Exception, if existence of such judgment itself is a fact in issue. Section 44. Fraud or collusion. Any judgment may be challenged if obtained by fraud, collusion. Lack of jurisdiction. Opinions of third persons. Sections 45-51. Section 45. Opinions of experts. Opinion of experts is relevant in science, art, handwriting, fingerprints, medical forensic matters. Section 46. Facts supporting or contradicting expert opinion. Facts showing correctness or incorrectness of expert opinion are relevant. Section 47. Opinion as to handwriting. Opinion of a person familiar with handwriting is relevant. Section 48. Opinion as to customs and usages. Opinion of persons knowing customs is relevant. Section 49. Opinion as to usages, tenets. Opinion on usage, tenets of groups or families is relevant. Section 50. Opinion on relationship. Opinion of persons having special means of knowledge is relevant. Example, family members stating relationship. Section 51. Grounds of opinion. Grounds on which opinions are based can be examined. Character evidence. Sections 52-55. Section 52. Character evidence in civil cases. Character evidence is irrelevant in civil cases. Exception, if character itself is a fact in issue. Section 53. Character of accused in criminal cases. Good character of accused is relevant. Bad character is irrelevant unless accused opens the door. Section 51. Previous bad character. Previous bad character is irrelevant. Exception, when character itself is an issue. Section 55. Character affecting damages. Character relevant if it affects amount of damages. Facts to explain or introduce relevant facts. Sections 56-60. Section 56. Facts judicially noticeable. Facts already known to court need no proof. Example, laws in force. Section 57. Facts of which court must take judicial notice. Includes laws of India, public acts, national symbols, geography of India, government notifications. Section 58. Facts admitted need not be proved. Facts admitted by parties need no proof. Section 59. Proof of facts by oral evidence. All facts except documents can be proved by oral evidence. Section 60. Oral evidence must be direct. Witness must have seen the fact, heard the fact, perceived it personally. Hearsay evidence is not allowed. Quick revision chart. Sections. Topic. 41, 44. Judgments. 45, 51. Expert opinion evidence. 52, 55. Character evidence. 56, 60. Proof judicial notice. Indian Evidence Act 1872. Sections 61, 90. Documentary evidence. General rules of documentary evidence. Sections 61, 66. Section 61. Proof of contents of documents. Contents of documents may be proved by primary evidence or secondary evidence. Section 62. Primary evidence. Primary evidence means the original document itself. Best form of evidence. Example, original sale deed. Section 63. Secondary evidence. Includes certified copies. Copies made by mechanical process. Copies compared with original. Oral account of document contents. Section 64. Proof of documents by primary evidence. Documents must generally be proved by primary evidence. Secondary evidence allowed only in exceptions. Sec 65. Section 65. Cases in which secondary evidence may be given. Secondary evidence allowed when original is lost or destroyed. Original is in possession of opposite party. Original is public document. Original is not easily movable. Certified copy permitted by law. Very important exam section. Section 66. Rules as to notice to produce. Before giving secondary evidence, notice must be given to the person holding original. Some exceptions apply. Public-private documents. Sections 67, 73. Section 67. Proof of signature and handwriting. Signature or handwriting must be proved to be of the alleged person. Section 68. Proof of execution of document required by law to be attested. Attested documents, e.g. will, require at least one attesting witness. Section 69. Proof when attesting witness cannot be found. Execution may be proved by other evidence. Section 70. Admission of execution. If execution is admitted, no need to call attesting witness. Section 71. Proof when attesting witness denies execution. Other evidence may be used. Section 72. Proof of document not required by law to be attested. Such documents can be proved like ordinary documents. Section 73. Comparison of signature, writing or seal. Court may compare signatures, handwriting, seals. Public documents, certified copies. Sections 74, 78. Section 74. Public documents. Includes acts of sovereign authority. Official records. Public records of courts. Section 75. Private documents. All documents other than public documents. Section 76. Certified copies. Public officer must give certified copies on request. Section 77. Proof by certified copies. Certified copies may be produced as proof of public documents. Section 78. Proof of documents. Lays down method of proving. Acts. Notifications. Public records. Foreign judgments. Presumptions as to documents. Sections 79-90. Section 79. Presumption as to certified copies. Court shall presume certified copies are genuine. Section 80. Presumption as to documents produced as record of evidence. Presumption regarding judicial records and confessions. Section 81. Presumption as to gazettes, newspapers. Court presumes authenticity of official gazette, newspapers, journals. Section 82. Presumption as to document admissible in England. Old section, rarely used today. Section 83. Presumption as to maps and plans. Maps plans made by government are presumed accurate. Section 84. Presumption as to collections of laws. Law books printed under authority presumed correct. Section 85. Presumption as to powers of attorney. Power of attorney executed before authority presumed valid. Section 85A. Presumption as to electronic agreements. Electronic agreements presumed valid. Section 85B. Presumption as to electronic records. Secure electronic records presumed genuine. Section 85C. Presumption as to electronic signatures. Secure electronic signatures presumed valid. Section 86. Presumption as to certified copies of foreign judicial records. Presumed genuine. Section 87. Presumption as to books, maps, charts. Books maps generally relied upon are presumed genuine. Section 88. Presumption as to telegraphic messages. Message presumed to correspond with message delivered. Section 89. Presumption as to due execution. If document is produced from proper custody. Section 90. Presumption as to documents 30 years old. Old documents, 30+ years, presumed genuine. No need to prove signature execution. Very important for exams. Quick revision table. Sections. Topic. 61, 66. Primary secondary evidence. 67, 73. Proof of execution. 74, 78. Public documents. 79, 90. Presumptions. Indian Evidence Act 1872. Sections 91, 100. Oral evidence exclusion rules. Exclusion of oral by documentary evidence. Sections 91-92. Section 91. Evidence of terms of contracts, grants, etc. Best evidence rule. When the terms are reduced to writing, the document itself must be produced. Oral evidence is not allowed to prove the contents. Applies to contracts, grants, dispositions of property. Example, written sale deed terms must be proved by the deed, not by oral statements. Section 92. Exclusion of oral evidence to contradict, vary, add to, or subtract from written terms, parole evidence rule. Once a document is proved under Section 91, oral evidence cannot change its terms. Provisos, exceptions, where oral evidence is allowed. Invalidity, fraud, intimidation, illegality, want of consideration. Separate oral agreement on a matter not inconsistent with the document. Condition precedent to the document's operation. Subsequent oral agreement rescinding modifying, except where law requires writing. Usage or custom explaining terms. Ambiguous language to explain how it applies to facts. When oral evidence I is allowed. Sections 93-98. Section 93. Ambiguous documents, no oral evidence. If language is patently ambiguous, oral evidence not allowed to clarify. Example, sell my house when person has two houses without identification. Section 94. Plain language not to be contradicted. If language is clear and applies exactly, oral evidence cannot contradict it. Section 95. Plain language but meaningless as applied. If clear words become meaningless to facts, oral evidence allowed to show intention. Section 96. Latent ambiguity. When ambiguity arises after applying words to facts, oral evidence is allowed. Example, two persons with same name. Section 97. Language applies partly to existing facts. Oral evidence allowed to explain which facts were intended. Section 98. Evidence to explain technical terms. Expert evidence allowed to explain technical foreign local terms used in documents. WHO may give evidence. Sections 99-100. Section 99. Persons who may give evidence of agreement varying document. Only parties to the document or their representatives can give such evidence. Strangers cannot. Section 100. Saving of provisions. Sections 91-99 do not affect provisions relating to interpretation of documents, proof of fraud, mistake, illegality, etc. Quick revision table. Section. Key rule. 91. Best evidence rule. 92. Parole evidence rule plus 6 exceptions. 93, 94. No oral evidence for clear ambiguity. 95, 97. Oral evidence for latent ambiguity. 98. Technical terms explained. 99. Only parties can vary. 100. Saving clause. Exam tips. 91 plus 92 are most important, often asked together. Remember, document prevails over oral. Write exceptions of Sec 92 clearly for full marks. Indian Evidence Act, 1872. Sections 100, 120, Burden of Proof. General Rules of Burden of Proof. Sections 101, 106. Section 101, Burden of Proof. Whoever asserts a fact must prove it. Burden lies on the person who wants the court to believe something. He who asserts must prove. Section 102, on whom burden of proof lies. Burden lies on the person who would fail if no evidence is given. It may shift during trial. Section 103, burden of proof as to particular fact. Burden of proving a particular fact lies on the person who wants the court to believe it. Section 104, burden of proving fact to be proved to make evidence admissible. If a fact must be proved before another evidence becomes relevant, burden lies on the person who wants to use that evidence. Section 105, burden of proving exception. Accused must prove exceptions like self-defense, insanity. Court presumes absence of such exceptions. Very important in criminal law. Section 106, burden of proving facts, especially within knowledge. When a fact is especially within someone's knowledge, that person must prove it. Example, how the accused got possession of stolen goods. Presumptions, special burdens. Sections 107, 114a. Section 107, burden of proving death. Person asserting death must prove it. Section 108, burden of proving that a person is alive. If a person hasn't been heard of for 7 years, burden shifts to prove that he is alive. Section 109, burden of proof as to relationship. Burden lies on person asserting existence of relationship. Section 110, burden of proof as to ownership. Person in possession is presumed owner. Burden lies on person denying ownership. Section 111, good faith in transactions. When good faith is questioned, burden lies on person asserting good faith. Section 112, legitimacy of child. Child born during valid marriage is presumed legitimate. Very strong presumption. Can be rebutted only by proving non-access. Section 113, presumption as to abetment of suicide. If married woman commits suicide within 7 years, court may presume abetment by husband or relatives. Section 113a, presumption as to abetment of suicide by married woman. Applies where cruelty by husband relatives is shown. Section 113b, presumption as to dowry death. If death within 7 years of marriage and cruelty for dowry is proved, Court shall presume dowry death. Section 114. Court may presume existence of facts. Court may presume facts based on natural events, human conduct, common course of business. Includes famous illustrations. A.I. Section 114A. Presumption as to absence of consent in rape. If sexual intercourse is proved and woman states no consent, court shall presume absence of consent. Estoppel. Sections 115, 117. Section 115 Estoppel. Person who made another believe something cannot deny it later. Prevents contradiction. Section 116 Estoppel of tenant and licensee. Tenant cannot deny landlord's title during tenancy. Section 117 Estoppel of acceptor, bailey, licensee. Persons accepting a role cannot deny authority of the person who gave it. Witnesses competency. Sections 118, 120. Section 118. Who may testify. All persons are competent unless incapable of understanding questions. Includes children, old persons, lunatics, if capable at time. Section 119. Dumb witnesses. Can give evidence by writing, signs. Treated as oral evidence. Section 120. Parties to civil suit accused. Parties to civil suit and accused persons are competent witnesses. Quick revision table. Sections. Topic. 101, 106. General burden of proof. 107, 110. Presumptions. Life, death, ownership. 111, 114. Special presumptions. Marriage, dowry, rape. 115, 117. Estoppel. 118, 120. Competency of witnesses. Exam focus. Sections 101, 105, 106. Sections 112, 113A, 113B. Section 114 illustrations. Estoppel. 115, 117. Indian Evidence Act. 1872. Sections 121, 140. Witnesses examination. Privileged communications. Sections 121, 131. Section 121. Judge is not compellable to answer. A judge cannot be forced to answer questions about his judicial conduct. Matters observed by him in court. Exception. Order of higher court. Section 122. Communications during marriage. Communication between husband and wife during marriage is privileged. Cannot be disclosed without consent. Exception. Cases between spouses or criminal cases. Section 123. Evidence as to affairs of state. Evidence relating to state affairs cannot be disclosed. Permission of head of department required. Section 124. Official communications. Public officers cannot disclose official communications if public interest suffers. Section 125. Information as to commission of offences. Magistrates, police officers cannot disclose source of information. Section 126. Professional communications. Advocate, client privilege. Lawyer cannot disclose communications with client. Applies even after employment ends. Exception. Illegal purpose or crime fraud. Very important section. Section 127. Extension of privilege. Privilege extends to interpreters, clerks, assistants of advocate. Section 128. Privilege waived. If client gives evidence, privilege may be waived. Section 129. Confidential communications. Client cannot be compelled to disclose confidential communications. Section 130. Witness not excused from producing documents. Witness must produce documents even if incriminating, but documents cannot be used against him. Section 131. Production of documents by third person. Third party producing documents is protected from liability. Examination of witnesses. Sections 132, 138. Section 132. Witness not excused from answering. Witness must answer all questions. Answers cannot be used to prosecute him, except perjury. Section 130. Accomplice. Accomplice is a competent witness. Conviction can be based on accomplice evidence. Rule of prudence. Needs corroboration. Section 134. Number of witnesses. No fixed number of witnesses required. Even one credible witness is sufficient. Section 135. Order of production and examination. Order decided by law. Judge's discretion. Section 136. Judge to decide admissibility. Judge decides whether evidence is admissible. Section 137. Examination in chief, cross-examination, re-examination. Examination in chief by party calling witness. Cross-examination by opposite party. Re-examination, clarification. Section 138. Order of examinations. First, examination in chief. Second, cross-examination. Third, re-examination. Cross-examination questions. Sections 139, 140. Section 139. Cross-examination of person called to produce document. Person producing document may be cross-examined. Section 140. Witness to character. Witness testifying about character may be cross-examined. Quick revision table. Sections. Topic. 121, 125. Judicial state privilege. 126, 129. Advocate, client privilege. 130, 131. Protection on document production. 132, 134. Witness obligations. 135, 138. Examination of witnesses. 139, 140. Cross-examination rules. Exam focus areas. Advocate, client privilege. 126, 129. Section 132. Self-incrimination protection. Accomplice evidence. 133. Types of examination. 137, 138. Indian Evidence Act. 1872. Sections 141, 167. Leading questions. Witness credibility improper evidence. Leading questions. Sections 141, 143. Section 141. What are leading questions? A leading question suggests the answer itself. Example. You saw the accused with a knife, didn't you? Section 142. When leading questions may be asked. Not allowed in examination in chief or re-examination. Allowed with permission of court or on introductory matters. Section 143. Leading questions in cross-examination. Leading questions are always allowed in cross-examination. Questions to test veracity. Sections 144, 146. Section 144. Evidence as to matters in writing. Witness may be asked questions about written matters without showing the document. But document must be shown if it is to be proved. Section 145. Cross-examination as to previous statements. Witness can be cross-examined using previous written statements. Important for contradictions. Very important for criminal trials. Section 146. Questions lawful in cross-examination. Questions may be asked to test truthfulness, discover identity position, shake credibility, character, conduct. Improper questions protection. Sections 147, 152. Section 147. When witness compelled to answer. Witness must answer lawful questions. Court decides relevance. Section 148. Court to decide when question shall be asked. Court considers relevance, importance, injury to witness. Section 149. Questions without reasonable grounds. No question should be asked without reasonable grounds. Protects witnesses from harassment. Section 150. Procedure of court. Court may report advocate who asks improper questions. Section 151. Indecent or scandalous questions. Such questions are not allowed unless directly relevant. Section 152. Questions intended to insult or annoy. Court shall forbid insulting or annoying questions. Impeaching credit of witness. Sections 153, 155. Section 153. Exclusion of evidence to contradict answers. Generally, answers to credibility questions are final. No contradiction allowed. Exception, previous conviction. Section 154. Question by party to his own witness, hostile witness. Court may allow a party to cross-examine his own witness. Such witness is called hostile witness. Very important, frequently asked. Section 155. Impeaching credit of witness. Credit of witness may be impeached by evidence of bad character, proof of previous inconsistent statements, proof of bribery or corruption. Corroboration, refreshing memory. Sections 156, 160. Section 156. Questions to corroborate testimony. Witness may be questioned to confirm earlier statements. Section 157. Former statements to corroborate. Previous statements made soon after incident or before competent authority can be used to support testimony. Section 158. What matters may be proved. Matters affecting credibility may be proved. Section 159. Refreshing memory. Witness may refresh memory using written documents, notes made at time of event. Section 160. Testimony to facts stated in document. Witness can testify facts mentioned in documents after refreshing memory. Documents evidence improperly obtained. Sections 161, 167. Section 161. Right of adverse party. Opposite party can inspect documents used to refresh memory. Section 162. Production of documents. Court may order production of documents. Section 163. Giving document as evidence. If a party refuses to produce document, he cannot later use it. Section 164. Using document after refusal. Once refused, party cannot rely on document. Section 165. Judge's power to put questions. Judge may ask any question, order production of any document. Objective, discover the truth. One of the most powerful sections. Section 166. Jury or assessors. Now obsolete, applied when jury system existed. Section 167. Improper admission or rejection of evidence. Judgment will not be reversed merely due to improper admission or rejection of evidence, unless it affects merits of the case. Quick revision table. Sections. Topic. 141, 143. Leading questions. 144, 146. Cross-examination scope. 147, 152. Protection of witnesses. 153, 155. Impeaching credibility. 156. Hostile witness. 157. Corroboration. 159, 161. Refreshing memory. 165. जजेस पावर्स 167, इफेक्ट ऑफ इम्प्रॉपर एविडेंस, हाई स्कोरिंग एग्जाम सेक्शंस 100 पैन पुलिस कॉन्ट्रडिक्शंस 155 हॉस्टाइल विटनेस 157 कोरोबोरेशन 165 जजेस पावर 167 इफेक्ट ऑफ एरर्स. If you found this video helpful, please like, share and subscribe. See you soon.